My name is Elena. I am on a plane. I don't want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere, but I have no choice. Everything feels wrong. My life is a mess. I feel angry. I feel tired. I feel lost. Last week, I failed my exam at the university. It was important. It was the final exam. I studied, but I could not focus. I tried, but I still failed. 2 days ago, I lost my job. My boss said, "You are not doing your best." I didn't know what to say. I just left. At home, things are not better. My parents don't listen to me. They don't understand me. They always say, "You must be stronger," or "Stop complaining." But they don't really hear me. I feel stress every day. I can't sleep. I can't smile. I can't think clearly. Now I am on this plane. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't care about the destination. I just want to go far away. The flight starts. People talk. People laugh. People eat. I don't care. Then someone speaks to me. "Hello?" she says. I don't answer. "My name is Margaret," she says. I say nothing. "Are you okay?" she asks. "I'm fine," I say. "But I'm not fine." She says, "You look tired. Sometimes a story can help." "A story?" "I will tell you a story," she says. "It's a true story." I don't stop her. I don't know why. Why is she telling me this story? Why me? Why now? I don't know. But I start to listen. The woman next to me starts to talk. Her name is Margaret. "I want to tell you something," she says. "Can I?" I don't say yes. I don't say no, but she talks anyway. "You look tired," she says. Not sleepy, just tired from life. I don't answer. I know that feeling, she says. I want her to stop, but I also want to know more. She says, "Sometimes when everything looks good on the outside, it feels bad on the inside." I look at her. She keeps talking. "People think you're okay because you have a house, a bed, food, clothes, maybe even a car, money, nice things." I listen. But inside you feel empty. How does she know? She says, "I used to feel like that." I finally speak. "I don't know what's wrong with me," I say. "I have everything, but I feel nothing." She nods. Then she says, "Tell me more." So I talk. "My parents don't understand me," I say. "They say I have no problems, but they don't see me. I failed my exam last week. I lost my job. I feel like a mistake. I feel like I can't do anything right." She says, "You are not a mistake." I stay quiet. "Do you want to hear a story?" she asks. "What kind of story?" I say. "A true one," she says. "About a girl who also had everything and still felt lost." Why does she want to tell me this? What is this story? And why do I want to hear it? Margaret looks at me. She had a big house, she says. She had a good job. She had a family. She had many friends. I listen. She smiled every day, Margaret says. But inside, she was not happy. Why? I ask. She didn't know, Margaret says. She just felt tired. Every day felt heavy. Every night felt long. Was she sick? I ask. No, Margaret says. Doctors said she was healthy, but her heart was not okay, not broken, just empty. I look at her. So what did she do? She tried to ignore the feeling, Margaret says. She worked more. She bought things. She went to parties. She laughed with friends. Did it help? I ask. No, she says. It got worse. I stay quiet. I think about my life. Margaret continues. One day she was at work. She had a meeting. She looked at her papers. And then she just stood up. She left everything. Just like that? I ask. Yes, Margaret says. She went home. She packed a small bag. She bought a plane ticket. She didn't tell anyone. She just left. Where did she go? I ask. She didn't know, Margaret says. She just picked a place far away. I feel something. Her story sounds close to mine. She sat on a plane, Margaret says. She felt tired. She felt lost. She felt like she was not living her life, just surviving. Did she talk to someone? I ask. Yes, Margaret says. She sat next to a woman, an old woman, kind, calm. The woman asked, "Are you okay?" I remember those same words. Margaret asked me that. She said, "I'm fine." Margaret continues, but the woman knew she was not fine. So the woman told her a story. Like you are doing now? I say. Yes, Margaret says. Exactly. What was the story? I ask. It was simple, Margaret says. It was about pain, about mistakes, about second chances, about not giving up. Did it change her? I ask. Yes, she says. It helped her see something. Life doesn't need to be perfect, but it must be honest. You can't lie to yourself. You can't hide from your feelings. I feel quiet inside. Then I ask, what happened to the girl? She made a choice, Margaret says, to go back, to fix what she could, to accept what she could not, to ask for help, to start again. I feel my heart beat faster. Why are you telling me this? I ask. Because I see you, she says. I know that look. I remember that silence. I remember the pain. I want to ask more, but I don't, because part of me already knows. I look at Margaret. She just sits there telling me all this. I don't understand everything, but something inside me is listening, something deep. She says, that girl went home. People were angry. People didn't understand. What did she do? I ask. She said sorry, Margaret says. She said, I was lost. I didn't know how to ask for help. Did they forgive her? I ask. Not everyone, she says, but some did. Some waited for her. I feel my eyes burning. I don't know why. Margaret says she went back to school. She started again. She studied slowly, one step at a time. She failed again, but this time she didn't quit. I ask, was it hard? Yes, Margaret says. It was very hard. Did she get better? I ask. Yes, she says, because she didn't give up. Then she stops talking for a moment. I ask, and what about her job? She found a new one, Margaret says. Not right away. It took time, but she kept trying. I think about my own job, my exam, my parents, myself. Everything feels too much. I say, I don't think I can do that. Margaret looks at me. Why not? Because I always fail, I say. No, she says. You feel like you fail. That's different. I say nothing. She says, let me tell you something important. I listen. She says, your pain is real. Your stress is real. Your sadness is real, but it does not have to be forever. I feel something move inside me. Not my body, my thoughts. She continues, you can cry, you can stop, you can rest, but don't stay there. Don't live in that pain. I ask, but what if I can't change? You can, she says. You already started. What do you mean? I ask. You are listening, Margaret says. You didn't push me away. You didn't stop the story. That means something inside you is ready. Ready? Me? She says, change is not big. It's small. One choice, one moment, one thought. I stay quiet. Then I ask, who is that girl in your story? Margaret looks at me. She says, that girl was me. I freeze. You? I ask. Yes, she says. It was me. I don't speak. I don't know what to think. She says, if I can change, maybe you can too. I look at Margaret. You were that girl? I ask. Yes, she says. I was lost. I was tired. I wanted to disappear, just like you. I don't know what to say. How did you change? I ask. I listened to a story, she says, just like you are doing now. A story? I ask. Yes, she says. I was on a plane like this. I sat next to an old woman. She talked to me. I didn't want to listen, but she didn't stop. She told me about her life, her pain, her mistakes. I listened carefully. She said something I never forgot, Margaret says. She said, you are not broken. You are just tired. But tired is not forever. I repeat it in my mind. Tired is not forever. Then I ask, do you think I can change too? She looks at me. I don't think, she says. I believe. I stay quiet. Then she says something I don't expect. Elena, she says, you remind me of my daughter. I look at her. You have a daughter? Yes, she says, but we don't talk now. Why not? I ask. She left, Margaret says. She felt alone. She felt like I didn't understand her. I listen. I wanted to help her, she says, but I didn't know how. I feel something strange. She continues. That's why I talk to people now, on planes, on buses, in lines, anywhere. To help them? I ask. To help me, she says. Every story I tell, it helps me heal. I think for a moment. Do you miss your daughter? I ask. Every day, she says. I think of her every night. I hope she is okay. What is her name? I ask. She looks down for a second. Then she says, her name is Elena. I stop breathing. What? I ask. Elena, she repeats. That's her name. My name. Her daughter's name is my name. I don't understand. Is this just a story? Is this a coincidence? Or something more? She looks at me again, and I ask myself, is this just a flight? Or is this something bigger? I feel cold inside. Her daughter's name is Elena. My name is Elena. I want to ask more questions, but I stay quiet. Maybe it's a coincidence, or maybe not. Margaret doesn't say anything for a moment. Then she speaks. She left when she was young, she says. She said, "You don't see me." Then she walked out. I listen. "I didn't understand her pain," Margaret says. "I thought she had everything. A good home, good food, school, safety. But I didn't see her heart." I look at her. She says, "Now I talk to people. I try to give what I didn't give her." She takes a deep breath. I hope she is happy. I hope someone listens to her. I hope someone tells her what I couldn't say. "What's that?" I ask. She looks at me. Then she says, "You are not a problem. You are a person." I feel something change in me. No one ever said that to me before. She continues, "You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. You just need to keep going." I want to believe her. The plane starts to descend. We are almost at our destination. But something feels different now. I don't feel heavy. I feel ready. I say, "Thank you, Margaret." She smiles. I say, "I don't know what will happen next, but I want to try again." She says, "That's enough. One small try can open a big door." The plane lands. People stand. People talk. People wait. We sit for a moment. Then I say, Maybe I can call my parents." She nods. I say, "Maybe I can send my professor an email." She nods again. I say, "Maybe I can look for a new job, a small one, just to start." She says, "Yes, that's how it begins." We stand up. I take my bag. I walk toward the door. Before I leave, I turn to look at her one last time, but she's not there. I look around. I ask a flight attendant, "Where is the woman who sat next to me?" The flight attendant says, "I don't know. I didn't see anyone sit there." I feel confused. Did I imagine her? Was she real? I don't know. But one thing is clear now. Something inside me has changed, and maybe that's all I needed. I don't know if Margaret was real. I don't know if she was a dream. But her words were true. And now I see something clear. Sometimes we look fine on the outside, but we are not okay inside. Sometimes we think we are alone, but someone is ready to listen. Sometimes we think we must be strong, but it's okay to ask for help. We don't need a perfect life. We just need a reason to keep going. One small step, one small change, one small hope. So if you feel tired, if you feel lost, remember this. You are not a problem. You are a person, and your story is not over yet.